Two fighters have had their first 3 fights in Invicta FC, the championship fights. Yana Kunitskaya is on that short list. We'll never forget November of 2016 when Kunitskaya came in as a relative unknown to Invicta FC and tapped out Tanya Evinger. What happened happened. A referee error caused that fight to be a no contest, but immediately she stepped up and fought Evinger again. She was billed as a kickboxer in both the first and second fights with Evinger. We saw a pretty fantastic submission offensive output from Kunitskaya. Tonight, she wants to call upon that kickboxing background. Julie, she said she's going to win this fight by knockout.
You know, what do you say about Yana Kunitskaya? I mean, you said it all. She exploded onto the scene. Granted, there was a change, the referee interference, all of these things happened, but from the fighter's perspective, she did exactly what a fighter does, and she held the submission until the tap. And in her eyes, when you get the tap, that's winning the fight. Now, the fight against Evinger was overturned, and she subsequently lost the rematch. But she's done such an incredible job of staying focused. Again, you know, I always talk about how ice cold she is. She really is. No drama, no disturbances happening around her. She goes in there, and this time she actually moved her entire camp to Albuquerque, left her son in Russia, and was so dedicated and so intent on winning this fight that she hasn't seen him in weeks. Actually months, I think, TJ. Like, she's really been focused on this and wanting to take that title home.
A lifetime of mixed martial arts and training has led her here to Invicta FC, and she wants to make good on her 3rd title fight. And if she's going to do it, she has to take out a very submission-savvy and very game Raquel Paoluhi. But no one is more confident than the ice-cold Russian, Yana Kunitskaya, ready to make good on Invicta FC gold once again. No has never been in the vocabulary of Raquel Paoluhi. She is 6-5 on her MMA career, and while that number doesn't look amazing on paper, you start to look at the fighters that she fought. Raquel Pennington, Amanda Nunes, Sarah McMahon, Colleen Schneider, the best that women's mixed martial arts has had to offer. Raquel Paoluhi has never turned down a fight with any of them. And she said, yeah, while my record may not look that great, I don't regret taking those fights at all. She says all of those fights have made her better. She feels that she's never been better in her career than she is tonight, and she feels that becoming the Invicta FC Bantamweight champion is truly her destiny.
You know, there's something to that. I don't know if I believe in destiny or not, TJ, but I know that this woman carries a heritage of fighters in her blood, that she changed everything for this sport, left home, transplanted herself to Robert Drysdale's gym in the desert and just really started over. And we saw the fruits of that labor in her fight against Kayna Kianzad. Gosh, you know, she carries Hawaii with her wherever she goes. She's actually training out of Las Vegas now. And we see this very composed, very strong fighter before us who just kind of has a little bit more piece of heart, I guess, when it comes to fighting.
You talk about heart, I mean, that's on display, but look at her corner as well. Her husband, Renato Canuto, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, is in it. Another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Robert Drysdale, is right there. Dewey Cooper is one of the best motivational speakers, honestly, in mixed martial arts, and you can also improve your stand-up game quite a bit. He's there. The team that is around Raquel Paoluhi suits her so well.
And you know, I don't know if you remember Janelle Marquez, but she said something to me when I was very young in my career. She said, records are for DJs, we're fighters. And I think that really comes to the table when we look at somebody like Raquel Paoluhi.
All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for our Bantamweight Championship. Raquel Paoluhi, 26 years old, 1 year younger than the Russian Yana Kunitskaya. Kunitskaya 1 inch taller. Both came in on point. We are official for the title. 134.4 for Kunitskaya, 135 even for the Hawaiian. For our official introductions of our main event, here's Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, live around the world from Tachi Palace Hotel Casino here in Lemoore, California. It is time for the main event of the evening. 5 rounds scheduled, this for the Invicta FC Bantamweight Championship of the World. Your 3 judges scoring this bout at cage side on the 10-point must system: Abe Bellardo, Mark Lawley, and Jason McCoy. And when the action begins inside the cage, referee in charge, veteran Josh Rosenthal. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready and the fighters are ready. Tachi Palace, make some noise if you are ready! Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, she weighed in officially 134 1/2 pounds. In 13 professional bouts, her record stands at 9 victories, 3 defeats, and 1 no contest. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of St. Petersburg, Russia, here is Foxy Yana Kunitskaya! And her opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. She weighed in officially 135 pounds and has a record of 6 victories and 5 defeats. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Waianae, Hawaii, here is Raquel Lionheart Pa'alui!
You've given your instructions. Expect a clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves if you want. Step back. Let's do this.
What a fight this is going to be. Our main event of Tachi Palace Fights 25. No, wait, we're at the Tachi Palace. This is Invicta FC 25. I'm here a few times a year. Pardon me. Bantamweight Championship on the line. Raquel Pa'alui and Yana Kunitskaya.
TJ, I'm going to point out something very strange to you, but I want you to look at the way Raquel Pa'alui has put her hair up behind her bra. I believe that's because she's expecting a lot of clinch and grappling exchanges in this, and she doesn't want that to get in her way or come behind her. We'll see if that happens.
Robert Drysdale was very confident in Pa'alui, said that he felt that she could get this done in under a round. We saw her do just that against Pani Kianzad. The Kunitskaya has been in there with the best bantamweight champion that Invicta has ever seen, in Tanya Evinger. Right now we see the clinch, over-unders here.
And Kunitskaya is doing a very nice job of kind of keeping the control. She's got the underhook, but she's actually fighting for control with her right arm, too, to get those strikes in. Raquel reached around the head. I'm trying to bite my tongue. But also, look at the way Kunitskaya has Raquel up on her toes like that. She's elevating her just a little bit, keeping her off her balance from dropping down if Kunitskaya wanted to try to take down.
Pa'alui timed that knee from Kunitskaya quite well, trying to grab it and take the fight to the floor. But right now, Yana controlling the pace of this fight. We see Pa'alui on one leg there for a moment. I think they was trying to block any knee strikes from Yana.
And we're seeing a very different Yana than we saw with her last outing against Tanya Evinger. She threw in a heavy volume in that fight, but she seemed a little bit off her game, a little off kilter in that. She seems very confident out there right now.
For Kunitskaya, she wants to keep her fight offensive on the feet. She wants to stand at space, and while she's not on the floor, she's not exactly where she wants to be, and she can't just let go from Pa'alui. Raquel's not going to let her go and get back to space that easily.
You know, we thought that Yana Kunitskaya wanted to keep it at range, but she's the one who initiated this up against the fence. It could have been a misdirection, which Jackson Winkkamp is known for doing. She does have Tusa in her corner, who's also a vaulted Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt competitor.
Jackson Winkkamp, full of some of the best strategists in the sport. Nice knee there by Kunitskaya. Pa'alui again trying to time that knee to try to work it into a takedown, but unable to do so.
And I love those knees from Kunitskaya right now. She's doing a nice job. She's got double underhooks, and she's staying calm in there and really curving her knees inwards to the inside. You can see Pa'alui as she's defending against it, but mostly she's just kind of waiting for the opportunity to work off of those knees. There's not much she can do right there when you're pinned and somebody's curving knees in. You just have to be patient.
You know, patience is something that these athletes will be afforded. I mean, this is scheduled 5 5-minute rounds. You never want to drop a significant amount of the fight, but if you're ever going to do so, 25 minutes is a lot of time to work.
I like the way that Kunitskaya is going from strike to strike. Paola Louis staying very patient, and she's finding her underhooks. But with her back up against the cage like that, there's not much offensively she can do unless she grabs a knee. She's finding her shots for her own knees and landing them on the inside. But for the most part, she can't get her hips behind her to deliver any kind of power from a strike. So it's got to be more of a strategic opportunity to hit, whereas Kunitskaya can get a little bit farther away and really crack.
This left hand on the break there for the Russian.
I'm sorry, she did say she wanted to knock out the Hawaiian fighter today.
This right hand by Paola Louis. Now she tries to go for a takedown, gets it. 1 minute left for the Robert Drysdale brown belt to work in this round.
Oh,
ooh,
nice
beautiful
shot.
up kick. Again, Kunitskaya trying to make that work for her, but Paola Louis able to pass.
And if you can get the leverage on those up kicks, TJ, man, that can really hurt your opponent, especially because they're standing over you, they're leaning and giving up the ability to absorb it. And Paola Louis moving on forward. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. I'm excited about this fight. You go.
She's trying to step over from now, caught in the quarter guard is the Hawaiian. Kunitskaya needs to be very careful here. Paola Louis is creative with her floor attacks.
And we see some blood on the canvas, too. I believe that Paola Louis is the one who's opened up right now. I don't see anything on Kunitskaya yet, but their heads are pushed together, so it's hard to see.
Now full mount. Looks like she's giving up the position. I thought maybe she was going to try to frame up a triangle, but it wasn't there. 5 minutes in the books. Kunitskaya controlled the clinch on the feet. Paola Louis was able to get to the fight, to the floor, but was unable to really get anything going. That's got to build some confidence for Yana Kunitskaya.
Absolutely, TJ. You know, again, my prediction was she was going to stand at range because she kept talking about knocking her out, but actually pushing the inside and controlling her up against the cage and understanding that she had a lot of positional dominance and a lot of opportunity to strike there, works in the favor of the Russian quite a bit mentally. You know, lets her know that this jiu-jitsu fighter is actually, you know, she might be able to control her a little bit too. There was a nice right hand there from Paola Louis, and then she reached around the head, which I always lament, dragged her to the ground, and as she was working for position, she steps in and just gets slammed by this up kick from the Russian's right leg, really knocking her back like that. And another one as she's pushing. You know, when you're working your guard passing and you're pushing forward with your hips like that, if you lose position on your hips, you kind of tilt forward with your head, and you are susceptible to getting hit.
Take me inside the corner of Raquel Paola Louis right now. What do you think her cornermen are saying to her entering the second round?
I have a feeling they're telling her to believe in herself, get to the inside, and get this fight to the ground, and understand this is going to be a fight over the stretch of some rounds. Nice front kick from the Russian.
Kunitskaya surrounded with some of the best training partners in the world. I mean, you know better than anybody, she can work with Holly Holm on a regular basis.
And she seems bigger to me tonight. It could be because Raquel Paola Louis basically walks around close to weight, TJ. But to me, you know, Kunitskaya looks like she's added some bulk and some muscle to her frame.
And the way that the Russian is throwing these strikes, it looks like Paola Louis is starting to get a little bit frustrated. The last couple punches I think she's been reaching for. There's a nice right hand, though, by the Hawaiian. Takes the lead leg of Kunitskaya.
And really, she needs to be on the inside to make those have an impact. Kunitskaya did a great job with those straight shots and those front kicks down the middle, but if Raquel wants any kind of success, it's got to be just maybe 2 inches closer than where she was at first.
Paola Louis has that nickname of Lionheart. She says that she is definitely someone who's not afraid of a fight, and she's shown her heart, you know, throughout her entire career, but she wanted to be a smarter fighter. But that said, she said, I'm not ever afraid to rely on that gritty sort of fighter that comes out from time to time. And this might be a fight that she needs to call upon that heart.
I believe so, yeah, TJ. I mean, this is a very evenly matched fight, but she's getting kind of rocked on, not exactly rocked, she's getting cracked on these exchanges, I should say. This is going to be a harder fight. It's going to go into deeper water for her, and that's where the lion comes out.
And through the 2 fights with Tanya Evinger that we saw from Yana Kunitskaya, she really was primarily offensive. Even if she was on her back, she was always going for submissions, catching Evinger in both of those fights, unable to finish Tanya in the second fight. But you know, she's never one to take a step back, and now she's coming forward with some more punches.
Yeah, and I like that you said take a step back, because that's actually what I was going to recommend that she do right there, because she's winning that clinching exchange and wearing Raquel down, stepping back a little bit and inviting her to come forward so that she can, again, hit her with those straight shots down the middle is a great strategy.
Now in on a single leg is Pa'aluhi. Kunitskaya trying to defend, throwing some punches on one foot.
Great defense from Kunitskaya there. You know, that was deep. That was a deep single leg. And, oh, Raquel tries for that hip toss with the arm. And Kunitskaya reads that and keeps fighting in that clinch.
2.5 minutes remain here in round number 2. Well, Kunitskaya is newer to Invicta FC, making her debut last November. She's been in mixed martial arts for a very long time. Actually, once upon a time, she was tabbed to fight Chris Cyborg in Strikeforce. So she's definitely put in her time in mixed martial arts, and all of that would be validated if she gets a win here tonight and captures Invicta FC gold.
I like the way she's mixing up those fakes and feints. It's hard for Raquel to, well, it's hard for anybody to take down or hit somebody if they don't actually know when they're coming in or not coming in. And the fact that she does those little shouts with her technique, I think actually adds to a little bit of the mystery of getting in on her. If you shout when you're faking, it's hard to know what's happening when you actually can enter on that fighter.
90 seconds here in round number 1 remain, or round number 2. Kunitskaya just really smothering Pa'aluhi up against this fence, not giving her any space. Knees come high.
Yeah, that was well done. She pushed her hips out, kind of pulled the head forward of Pa'aluhi in order to get that knee.
We've seen Pa'aluhi get a little bit desperate going for unorthodox takedowns. Seems like getting this fight at the floor is a bit of a mystery in how she's going to do it. Kunitskaya is so calm. Another kick there by the Russian. Pa'aluhi trying to close the distance.
That was a great retraction from the Russian too. Her leg was caught, and just that hamstring strength of popping it backwards that's a fantastic thing to do.
Kick again to the body by Kunitskaya. Oh, she spins. Beautiful knees here now. Pa'aluhi trying to capitalize on the spinning maneuver there by Kunitskaya, unable to do so. But I think that shows the confidence from the Russian. You know, spinning, not really worrying about the takedown at all from Pa'aluhi.
And that's really something she did early on in her career. We didn't see it as much with Evinger, but yeah, we saw a lot of spin kicks early in her career.
Ten minutes in the books here in our main event. Yana Kunitskaya, Raquel Pa'aluhi. You got to feel good if you're in the corner of Yana Kunitskaya. This fight is going exactly the way I think that her team probably drew it up thus far.
I agree, TJ. You know, she's controlling the clinching exchanges. She's controlling the striking. She's gotten popped once or twice, but she's basically been able to keep the Hawaiian fighter at the end of her punches and kicks.
If you're in the corner now of Yana Kunitskaya, you're Mike Winklejohn. What is he saying to Yana?
Keep doing what you're doing and have fun and breathe. That's what he's saying. Probably telling her she's having success. Like, just keep doing what she's doing and have fun out there, which is something that he had said to me many times. And really that having fun, that kind of speaks to the flow experience I was talking about with Raquel Pa'aluhi. It's letting go and letting the fight take over, but knowing you're in control of your body. And it's a great thing to achieve during a fight.
This is the third time we've seen Yana in Invicta FC. This is the first time that we've seen her enter a third round. Pa'aluhi, no stranger to taking fights into deep waters. Kick to the body of Kunitskaya by the Hawaiian. Nice combination there, finished with a kick by Pa'aluhi.
And you know, that's exactly, if I were Paolu's coach, I'd tell her to actually push straight forward and go for those, chain those combinations together. Because if you can get to the inside, you've got to get as much damage as possible to get the Russian thinking of standing up, more upward, so that you can get underneath and get the takedown.
I like the movement from Kunitskaya here, lowering her elevation, a lot of head movement. Paolu now trying to get in on the inside, go for a takedown, unable to get it.
And that takedown, to me, that was a little ill-advised right there, TJ. There was nothing in front of it. She just kind of dove for it. It's the second and the third takedown. I said this in the intro. Really, she's got the wrestling experience. She just has to get that drive and push forward and go for that one more after she's missed the first.
So the oblique kick on display there from Kunitskaya. It's a Mike Winklejohn special. The body from Kunitskaya now just immediately backs Paolu up into the fence.
And I think those knees to the body are starting to have an effect, TJ. You know, they're very sharp, and she throws them very fast. I'm wondering if that's starting to maybe tire Paolu out just a bit. But, you know, Paolu entered this round with more aggression, you know, really pushing forward, and maybe she's drawing upon those reserves and really understanding that she's got to take over the fight at this point. She's gotten hit a little bit too much.
Paolu putting in almost some kicks. Kunitskaya's front kick, it's a nice kick for a variety of reasons. One, it's hitting hard, but two, it really keeps the range.
Yeah, it's beautiful when you have long legs like that. I always wished for legs that long you can just keep people away from, but yeah, she's using it very effectively during this fight.
Paolu far from out of it, but you can almost read her posture. She's a bit frustrated here.
And rightly so. Those jabs, those kind of leaning jabs and those stuttered jabs from Kunitskaya, those are so hard to read because the movement that's happening is she's moving her back leg up to her front leg when she's delivering it, as opposed to just a standard footwork stepping in with your left leg. And she's also changing levels quite a bit, which is really frustrating and very good fighting. But Paolu herself is a very good fighter. I just think like you said, there's just some frustration happening right here. There's just, maybe it's that game of inches where she can't quite get to the inside to deliver the damage she wants.
On the flip side of that coin, Yana's posture, it's a bit more stick and move. She's having a bit more fun in this round, I think, than she did in the prior two. Now back in the clinch. Coming into this fight, I thought if this fight was going to play out in the clinch that it would be Paolu that was having a bit more success, but it's Kunitskaya that's controlling all of these clinch sessions.
Yeah, it's her positioning, her hand positioning, her head positioning are just, they're masterful right there. She's able to really lean on the Hawaiian and make the bulk of her weight on this other fighter holding her up. When Paolu tries for kind of a break in the action, she pushes out, knees, and then gets right back where she wants to be.
Not that Paolu wants to do this against the fence, but she clearly wants to get this fight to the floor. Would you put it past her to try to pull guard at any point?
I wouldn't pull it past her, but I don't see it happening. But, you know, I think anything can happen in a fight. I don't think that would be a good strategic move against somebody who keeps pushing forward like that, because Yana's in and out. If she pulled guard, she'd probably just step out of it. I think Paolu needs to be on top.
Kunitskaya truly is having fun here, Jerry. I mean, the way that she's moving and throwing her strikes, I don't think she really has a lot of fear. Comes high with a kick that lands.
Well done.
30 seconds left in round number 3. Paolu trying to grab the leg, eats an elbow. Nice right hand by the Hawaiian. Bantamweight championship on the line. Yana Kunitskaya, Raquel Paolu. The Russian goes spinning.
Yeah, that is a fighter who's having a good time out there. She's basically playing tag with her strikes now, in and out, and very nice.
Done. Yana Kunitskaya confident in this one. Kunitskaya just screaming at Paolu to end that round. She's got to believe that she's up 3-0. And Raquel Paolu going into the championship rounds here. She's got a big question ahead of her. How is she going to get this fight in her world? Because Yana Kunitskaya has turned her away at every opportunity.
Yeah, TJ, you know, I don't know. I think it's a matter of just getting there. But these kicks really dictated so much of the action during this fight. That beautiful roundhouse kick just came over the top and cracked her on the jaw. And then Kunitskaya's front kicks, her linear kicks, just really pushing the Hawaiian away. And even if they're not landing with them and force knock your breath out, when they push you back, it's just frustrating. Oh, and that spin side kick. Gosh, that was gorgeous. Let's look at that one more time, TJ. Stepping through and kicking all the way through with that, bouncing her into the fence. Really beautiful stuff out there, striking-wise.
Through 15 minutes, it has been a showcase for Yana Kunitskaya. She stands up and screams at Raquel Pa'alui. I don't think Kunitskaya has ever been more at home inside the Invicta FC cage than she is right now.
I think you're very right, TJ. And oh, nice front kick again. We often talk about how Kunitskaya is ice cold and she doesn't emote very much, but I think these screams and these shouts and everything coming out of her, I think that's a person who's very much enjoying their job tonight.
And for Pa'alui, I mean, the outburst of emotion from Kunitskaya, it's almost got to be more frustrating.
I think so, yeah. And, you know, Pa'alui, she's still light on her feet. She's still able to deliver a strong attack, in my opinion. It's just a matter of when, of getting the timing and getting it where she's going to be the most comfortable. I think she's been very uncomfortable in this fight. She keeps wiping her hands on her shorts, doing those little indications that, you know, the fighter's just trying to get an adjustment. I'm wondering if her nose is broken, actually, because she does keep touching it.
Every single time that she's lowered her hands, Kunitskaya has popped her with a stiff jab. Yeah, Pa'alui definitely wiping her nose.
And you can see the corner of Kunitskaya calling for her to throw multiple jabs and then end on that right hand.
Left and a right misses for Pa'alui, eats another jab. Now she goes in for a takedown, eats a knee. Kunitskaya pushing Raquel back into the fence. Knee comes high for the Russian. This has been a perfect tactical fight for Yana Kunitskaya thus far. What's Pa'alui doing there trying to bring that knee up?
Oh, I think she's trying for positioning. It blocks out the knees, and it also kind of gets Kunitskaya. It can help her push to inside control, get underneath the arm of Kunitskaya. But Kunitskaya very smartly found her underhook right there. But yeah, working that knee up can give her a little bit of leverage. It gives her the space off the cage, I guess, is what I'm saying, to create more of a scramble.
Now back at space. Kunitskaya has been mixing up that jab into this round and finding a home nearly every single time she throws it. At home, right on the bridge of the nose of Pa'alui. Halfway through the fourth round. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Invicta Fighting Championships 25 here at the Tachi Palace Hotel and Casino. Bantamweight Championship on the line. Yana Kunitskaya in control thus far against Raquel Pa'alui. Kick comes high for Pa'alui. Tries to go in on a takedown. It's clear that Pa'alui wants to get this fight to the floor. How does she set it up, Julie? Because she really hasn't had any success entering in on it.
Well, there's just some kind of disconnect happening with her, TJ, with her takedowns, with her because when she does land strikes, she steps out before she goes back in for that takedown, and that's a lost moment in time where she could have been accelerating forward. So it's almost like there's just a step missing in between strikes and the takedown attempt that she's not showing us tonight.
Yana moving her head, trying to find openings. Pa'alui throwing a three-strike combination, now a bit deeper in on that takedown, but still unable to get it.
Those are some beautiful knees, TJ. The way she's curving her body in like that. You can see Raquel's not even showing pain from them, but that's got to be doing something to her body, like breaking her down just a bit. You know, she just wipes her nose off and pushes forward again. But I don't know how many knee shots a person can take to the body in one fight.
Paul Louis tries to come high with the kick. Follows it up with the right side.
And again, she barrels down with her head down for those shots and combining them in this moment right there. If she dropped levels, TJ, just like that.
Oop, takedown. She gets it, not a lot of time to work. 23 seconds remaining in round number 4.
You can see Kunitskaya trying to use the cage to push and get her distance and to frame up. But I mean, yeah, Raquel's basically got to go for broke right here and get that arm bar or get whatever she's looking for. Kunitskaya is using her legs to climb. Her leg, actually, I didn't notice the amount of damage that's on it. It could be the shadow, but it looks like she's been hit a couple times there.
4 rounds in the books. The 5th and final round upcoming. Raquel Paul Louis finally had some success in that 4th round, Julie, but it was too little too late getting the takedown with less than 30 seconds remaining.
It was, TJ, and that's unfortunate for the Hawaiian because had that happened, I think with a minute left in the round, she would have gotten much more work done on the ground. Basically what she did was chain those takedowns together. You know, she went for the double leg, clenched up, and then grabbed over the head and tossed the Russian to the ground. Now they're crunched up against the cage here, and they're also crunched for time. So you can see Yana trying to climb her legs, and Raquel getting her strikes in blood coming from the nose of Raquel Paul Louis right now pretty strongly. I believe that nose is broken.
She's been wiping it for the better part of 2.5 rounds. Now, Yana Kunitskaya clearly ahead on the judges' scorecards. If you're Mike Winkeljohn and company, what do you tell her to do? More of the same? Do you ease it back? Do you not get too aggressive? Because you know Paul Louis is going to come out going for broke.
No, I don't think I think exactly more of the same. She's got to keep looking for her finish on her feet, TJ, and just stay as calm as she had. That was one takedown that landed, you know, over the course of 2 rounds. Like, I think 2 takedowns total have landed for Paul Louis, and she's attempted many.
5th and final round, Yana Kunitskaya, Raquel Paul Louis. It is our main event of Tachi Palace Fights 25. Paul Louis comes over the top with the right hand.
And she's got to be motivated as heck right now. And she got that takedown when she, you know, kept in there. But it's a matter of getting her to the ground as quickly as possible now.
Now deeper on the leg, but Kunitskaya able to get free.
Now this is the round. You said something about pulling guard. This is the round where that may actually happen. I think she's looking for a way to trap that arm down and use her leg to push off and possibly, you know, swing in for a takedown. But it's going to be very hard to do. Like I said, the Russian has a great deal of size on her and probably cut quite a bit of weight for this fight.
Able to get free is Paul Louis. Kick to the body from the Hawaiian.
And look how fresh Yana still looks. Training at altitude really does things for you, TJ.
He's so composed, so incredibly comfortable is Kunitskaya. Now another takedown attempt for Paul Louis. But again, immediately clinched back up into the fence.
This is a position where if I were Josh Rosenthal, I'd probably not let it go that much longer. Yana's going to get some nice knees in there, and those double strikes of Raquel's are creative, but they're not really launching that effective of an offensive output.
And here, with double underhooks for Yana Kunitskaya, she can afford to just sit here and let time expire. Paul Louis needs to force the issue, get off this fence, and make something happen, and it's hard to do that. I mean, Yana Kunitskaya, very strong, very determined, and just incredibly confident. Exchanging at space once again. And we love all the comments on Twitter, at TJ DeSantis, at JuliusK_fighter, at Invicta Fights. Hashtag Invicta FC25. Some knees here by the Russian.
That's just a great place to knee from too, TJ. When you get the head down like that, throwing those knees when you're pulling it down, it really works in your favor. You can see she's got that guillotine. She's using it for strikes. As we've seen earlier in fights, that makes me very excited because pulling the head down into the knee, it's very hard to defend that, even if you put your hands up in a shield, as Raquel was doing.
Paolui able to defend, now back at space again, throws a right hand.
And that's, I guess, what's so baffling about Paolui is she's still got power in those hands. She's still got the gas tank. She just hasn't been able to really launch anything at the right time.
Paolui was very confident that there were avenues for her to explore to win this fight and expose some of the shortcomings of Yana Kunitskaya, but all of those roads have been closed. She's trying to get a takedown once again. Nice wide base for Kunitskaya, shutting down the takedown offensive thus far. Very deep on it was Paolui for a brief moment, but now reversed up against the fence. 90 seconds remain. What a performance it has been for Yana Kunitskaya thus far.
We really are seeing the heart of the Lionheart here. She breaks out of these exchanges and keeps pushing forward. But yeah, Yana Kunitskaya is a star tonight. Just dancing in there, really getting those nice shots, and then up against the cage, working super hard. Oh, there's that takedown. Oh, and reversal from Kunitskaya.
Nicely done. We'll see if Yana tries to get space and stand up. She does. Some more punches from Kunitskaya. Think about it. November 2016, Yana Kunitskaya makes her Invicta FC debut against Tanya Evinger. She gets an arm bar. Her hand is raised. A title belt is wrapped around her waist. It's taken away 13 days later. Then the rematch, March 2017. Yana Kunitskaya finds the arm bar once again on Tanya Evinger, but it is not to be. It was shut down. She tapped out ultimately. Now we're back inside a title fight. Yana Kunitskaya, 20 seconds away from realizing Invicta FC gold that will no doubt not be taken away. It will be hers. It is the post-Tanya Evinger era, and Yana Kunitskaya looks to be the one that will blaze the trail ahead for Invicta FC bantamweights. That is a wrap. 25 minutes in the books. Yana Kunitskaya, Julie, looks to be a few moments away from becoming the next Invicta FC bantamweight champion.
Yeah, that was a beautiful performance, TJ. I think she shut her out more or less. I mean, Raquel had her moments during the fight, but it just wasn't enough for a victory. It wasn't enough to get that finish. And, you know, you kind of wonder, like, I mean, how many more champions, like, do we have coming up in this ranks? I want to know who Yana Kunitskaya is going to try and fight next. I want to know which 35er has her target on the Russian at this point. But, you know, heart goes out to Raquel Paolui for being a Lionheart, for stepping it up and for fighting all this time and getting her shot in there and never backing down, always fighting bell to bell.
And if you're going to be testing Yana Kunitskaya in the future, there are a lot of hard questions for you. Yes, we saw her lose to Tanya Evinger, but think about what happened. Evinger had to go through a lot of offensive submission attempts from Kunitskaya, and Evinger is one of the best grapplers women's mixed martial arts has ever seen. Truly an Olympic level type of wrestler, having just failed to make the Olympics because they didn't have her weight class in 2004. Yana Kunitskaya has a lot of qualities that champions are made of, and if she does walk away with this decision and what you and I think is going to be hers, she might be champion for a while here at Invicta Fighting Championships.
She might be, and I think that's an exciting thing. It's a way to usher in a new era. You know, she's a young fighter. She's had a lot of fights, but this is a fighter who did not back down from accepting a fight against Cyborg Justino at one point. You know, let's see what happens in the future for her.
All right, let's make it official. Joe Martinez has our decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All three agree, 50-45. Your winner by unanimous decision and new Invicta FC Bantamweight Champion of the World, Yana Foxy Kunitskaya.